anyway, I have noticed of late, back to Psychic Warfare 101, I've been having, sometimes, you'll have someone that comes from like whatever they have, and then they have friends. Well, what I mean is, they come to you, and so their friends have usually been through a lot of the things they've been through, as in they might have met at the same thing, whatever. And what I'm noticing is that certain people that have met at different, like certain groups, or that have been involved with certain practices, all have the same entities.
That would make a whole lot of sense.
Right? It's almost like we were farmed off to a certain club,
Yeah, it's like there's a certain section where we get this kind of elixir. There's this kind of group that we get this sort of elixir.
Or if you join that group, you're going to be giving up that for them. We're farming that, and in return, we'll give you some information, a whole lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. Just sort of like putting it out there for people, because it's like things like this might be enough to trigger them to do their own reconnaissance. But it's made such a difference when I've been able to move it with them, So,
those particular entities or the things that have latched on?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, in regard to the compromisation of the spiritual community, is like just, wow. Were we,
Yeah. I get that. All I can think of right now is the tantric community.
Oh God, right.
Just in, having a few friends who are within it, and, earnest people who want to explore selves within that realm. But it does make me question what would be breeding within that community, I read in that...
What?
Say what?
Who'd be sucking on what? And I mean that... I mean as in who's harvesting that crop. How's that?
Exactly. I read in that halls of... the sabotaged hall of records, that...
Oh, yeah.
That, all right. One thing that actually struck me about it that I thought was really interesting was the writer mentioned that need, that entity that comes in with that dirty sexual energy, it kind of it's driven from a point where the entity wants to reproduce itself and consistently reproduce itself. That's what was written there. I find that really interesting. I don't know what you feel about that.
The word of reproduce itself sounds like laying eggs.
Yeah.
And if they're doing it through the sexual thing, then it means that they're trying to get as many partners as possible to lay more eggs.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
I don't know. It just...
Stay home. Wrap yourself in plastic.
But I just find it like how really gross it can be. Anyways, let's get off that topic.
It's not so much that it's gross. It's just, survival. Bravo. That the little fucking non-sentient entity gets so high on what we're fucking putting it out that it just needs more. It's like it's all it's acting out of. It's not so much gross. It's kind of like in that case you can sort of be a little bit more, the science. How wonderful. The way it reproduces, just fucking take it out to the petri dish, back in the neutral, then blast the shit out of it. We don't want it in our petri dish, thanks. As soon as you get that, gross.
Yeah.
What do you think's happened?
Another trigger for the harvest.
Right? So just now, tuning in, anybody, any dimension, any point in time where that grossness, which is usually the trigger of, oh my God, what have they taken from me? Oh my God, it's really just fear. So feel it, pull it, invisible, undetectable, untraceable to it. Any agreement you made with it. I mean, after a while, you just shorthand what you're doing. It's the feeling that matters. Outski? Flushy?
Good. Too easy.
When I say that's how quick it can be, you've done the work to have the backup. But it's like that's all it needs to be. It doesn't have to be these fucking dramatic carry-on. Oh, yeah. It's like, why? That's a good feed too. You know? Like,
yeah.
G'day. You know, I've got to sweep this up, get it out of the house. Yes, it's inconvenient, but it's gone now.
It's being diligent about it, I find. The quicker it works has come from just being on top of it and not allowing myself to indulge in the drama of it.
Indulge, right?
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, like the earthly delights, but you indulge. Fucking,
I've learned from the best, Vicky.
It's a 5. It's your fucking nature, you know. But use it to your advantage, not theirs.
But you know what? I've been getting a lot better. Like I had a bit of a spill last week with all that bullshit with you know what.
So dive Jesus off the cross.
But also I wasn't exactly in an environment that was sort of helping sustain any kind of essence. So it sort of was a bit of a testing week last week.
You threw yourself into it.
I know.
The other thing, why do we need to be fucking tested? You know, when the shit comes at you again, you know, oh, it's a test. No, you haven't cleared everything.
That's all it is. You haven't cleared it.
That's it. It's not, you know, to see how you handle it and all that shit. Why would you do that to yourself? It's coming back because you haven't handled it, or it's a deeper layer.
Yeah. So,
you know, don't just be like, oh, I didn't do a good job of it that time. Well, just enough to fuck flag you. Exactly.
That is so true.
Unlearning.
Say that again?
This is what I'm talking about with the unlearning. There's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with the world.
There isn't.
At the moment, our dreaming consists of something being wrong. As soon as that's gone, what do you think our dreaming will consist of? So,
yes.
I mean, exactly. You don't need books. You don't need fucking, you know, elaborate 40-year rituals. You just need now in rocket.
That's all it is. That is all
and if you feel a little bit of fear, then you find where it's coming from, you pull it out, you flush with essence, and off you go again. False evidence appearing real, our fear. False evidence appearing real.
I really like that, the busting of the whole challenge thing. Because I think that's a really prevalent concept amongst all the spiritual or consciously aware community, is that the challenge, just being tested. No, I think that's a good busting. Because it's like almost...
That's been brought to my attention, but from people in the consciousness, spiritualist community, is they're all fucking broke. If they're all doing this abundant shit, why are they broke? Right?
Yeah.
What contracts, agreements, allowances did you make with your knowledge distributor?
To remain in poverty or to remain...
It goes straight to them.
That's interesting. That is so interesting, isn't it?
If you are doing it right, sitting in that space, feeling the feelings, loving the life, you'll get what you want, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I just had a bit of a aha moment.
Really?
Where I was remembering, you know what I actually really liked about your guilty pleasure is that it's a very common thing too. Everything surrounding pleasure tends to be surrounded by guilt or conditioning or what?
Regulated.
Yeah. I think it's a very common thing, not just with hedonism, but any form of pleasure.
Well, hedonism's just my excessiveness. But I mean,
but you don't have to be excessive.
It's like you have the piece of chocolate, but then, that's going to make me fat. Who fucking said? Tell your metabolism to fucking deal with it differently. Or maybe you need to have something with it that makes it metabolically sound. I mean, there's always a fucking way.
Yeah.
You know, or it's like, imagine how much like bullshit there is around sex and pleasure. and guilt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
That's just early for this morning, right? But, I mean, think about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of conditioning around
Hide that out, bitches.